Yeehaw, it's YouTube Tuesday. I'm Jean. I'm with C&J Farm, a medicinal herb and organic egg farm here in Matthews County, Virginia. We went away for the Labor Day weekend, and but it was so good. We got back late Sunday night, and Jack and Jill were so glad to see us, and we were glad to see the farm. It's always scary when you go away, even when you have somebody competent to keep the farm. It just worries you the whole time you're gone, because it's just so much can go wrong. But the young lady we had was wonderful, and she did a good job. And so I thought I would talk about that a little bit today, about how to work with a farm sitter, because it is kind of scary, and you know, you want to do it in a nice way and in a fair way. I think we've gone away a few times in the last few years, not often, but we've had all kinds of farm sitters. And one thing, I always judge how the dogs act. Jill did not like this one farm sitter at all. And whenever we would go away, she wouldn't eat. And so we'd come back, and she'd be like so starving, you know. And Jack always kind of got along with everybody. But anyway, it's nice to find. I always judge somebody by if the dogs like them, and I like it when they do, because of course we want the dogs to be happy and healthy while we're gone, and not be sad, and to be taken well care of. But the main thing you think about a farm sitter, you're not going. Of course, they're not going to do everything exactly the way you want them to do it, because they're not you, and it's hard to relate every little aspect that you do at a farm. It is very hard, because you do so many little tiny things that you can't put down on a piece of paper or really even relate to anybody. But the way I did it, I do a sheet of paper that basically has listed everything, so they can refer to that if they forget or forget how much of this or how much of that. So I do a chart, and it's an ever-changing chart because it changes if we've got ducklings, or it changes if we've got chicks, or if I've got certain seedlings started, like in January or February, trays of seedlings started for the spring or for the fall. And so it's ever-changing, and then I update it before we go as to what's happening on the farm. And have the vet numbers on there, and have my phone number on there, and just any kind of information I can think of, just to remind them in case they do forget something. And the way I do it, I bring them over the day before we leave, and they spend the day with me, and I do pay them for that day. I feel like that's fair. They do the chores with me in the morning and at night, and I relate to them. Of course, chores here involve also washing and cartoning up the eggs of the day, and that takes some time. And of course, watering. And that's one thing. Watering is such an art. And I know if you run a farm, or if you have a lot of plants that you've had to have a house sitter water, it is bad, because sometimes you come back and, you know, they do a good job, but if you were home, you would kind of watch that plant, and if it started drying out, you would give it extra water or something, you know. So you know, the plants sometimes suffer when I'm gone, and it's not that they're not getting watered. It's just watering is an art. You can actually kill plants with too much water or too little. So watering's an art, and I always want to spend more time with our farm sitters on watering properly, really, so that when I come back, the plants are not looking stressed. But anyway, I spend a whole day with them before we go, and then I pretty much I don't check in all the time. I try just to enjoy our trip, because we don't get away very often, and it usually works pretty good. And you know, it's always gone very well, really. Even with the farm sitter that Jill didn't like it, usually the animals were cared for. But anyway, it was good to get back. And I tell you, in the mountains, we were up in the mountains for 3 days. It was just so wonderful, and we were involved in an activity, but I kept getting distracted, and I'll show you one of the herbs that kept distracting me. I'm going to take you with me. We're going to walk over there. It is. I kept getting distracted by all the herbs that were growing all around me, and CA kept telling me, "Stop looking over there. Pay attention to what you're doing." Maybe that's why I didn't do very well. We were actually competing in a shooting sport, and I just kept getting so distracted. There's so much medicine and food growing up in the mountains. It's just incredible. I would love to spend more time there. Anyway, I'm going to walk over and show you. I have one of the herbs growing here. I thought you would enjoy seeing it. It's the common mullein. Mullein is a biennial. It's fuzzy, kind of like lamb's ear, and it's a biennial. It's a herbaceous biennial. So the first year it grows in like a low rosette, and then the second year it can get like 5 to 8 feet tall and have all these little flowers at the top. You can actually take those flowers and make teas and tinctures. You can use the leaves, the root, and the flower of mullein, and it's just beautiful. I have some first-year mullein that I'm going to show you over here in my herb bed. There it is right there. I've got some common mullein, which is fuzzy, and then I've got some Greek mullein, which is not fuzzy. But the common mullein is more what you see around here. And it is good for, it lasts from August to September. You can make capsules, tinctures, infusions, decoctions, poultices, oils, herbal teas. It improves your digestion. It can help with tuberculosis, treatment of colds and flu, joint pain. It has, and rheumatism. It has antibacterial effects. Helps with sleeping, soothes skin conditions. It helps with respiratory problems. Helps with asthma, ear infections, helps with your lungs, can help you stop smoking. Isn't that amazing? It's beneficial for your bladder. It can help with migraines and headaches, and it even helps in treating cramps. Herbs are just amazing, and no wonder I get distracted by them when I'm surrounded by them up in the mountains, because it was hard to ignore them. They were gorgeous. There was just food and medicine growing everywhere. Anyway, we had a great Labor Day weekend. I hope you did too. I'll see you next week.